Well, as soon as I thought I was done, and I was about to go play some basketball, clear my brain, this came up. I said, this came up. Dan Bongino. Yeah. There's going to be somebody to assist him. Yeah, brother from Missouri. Oh, yeah, you know how we get down in Missouri. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friendship Pearson. Welcome to Friendship Blue. It is August 19th of 2025, 4:18 p.m. Can we say it all together? Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. So what's going on in the FBI? What's going on in the FBI? Well, check it out.
Joining us now, Summer 4 White House correspondent Shelby Talcott. Shelby, what's up with Bongino?
I think that's the question everybody is asking right now, right? Because it is an unusual arrangement to have a co-deputy director of the FBI. And of course, this comes after there was some drama with Dan files were handled over the past few months. And so the open question that I've
So I had to blurt that out because I wasn't sure if I could let that sink in. But basically what she's saying is that, hey, you know, there's some things that went down with Bongino. I did a video on it about a month ago. Some man who owned an island, and then he went to prison, and then he unalived himself. You know what I'm saying? That dude. Bongino had something to say about that. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. But let's continue here.
Hearing is Dan Bongino going to stay long term? I've heard some people suggest that this isn't an arrangement he's going to be interested in. Of course, he was a successful podcaster before joining the FBI. So will he return to that? Will he stay at the FBI? Nobody really knows as of now, but this is certainly an arrangement that seems to be unique at the FBI right now.
Tell me a little bit more about Andrew Bailey and what are his...
So, Bongino is getting an assistant at the FBI. That's basically what's going down, okay? Bongino, again, he is getting an assistant. Now, I'm going to take the high road in this. Maybe Dan Bongino got a lot on his plate. I mean, after all, it is a big job. I mean, he went to the court hearings and said what he had to say about what he would do. And, you know, he's a former FBI guy. And, you know, he's been around the block. I think he did what? Police work, police officer in New York. And a lot of folks was like, look, man, put this dude in that position. He know what he's doing. But he's coming after the moment of, what was that, July 13th, 2024, when they say Trump got hit in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania. Look, he coming from a firestorm. Or, you know, might have to clean house, get some new blood up in there, and, you know, make some more arrangements. And things just might not be going right. Let's just not jump to conclusion here. Maybe Trump and maybe what's her name, the AG, Bondi. Maybe Bondi is saying, you know what, the brother could use some help. After all, you know, we just had these Doge cuts. We got a few extra, you know, pesos. We got a few $1 million laying around here, Mr. Trump. All the money coming in from the tariffs. We can afford another salary. Let's get Bongino some help. See, I'm going to take the high road on this thing.
Goals.
Well, what's interesting is Andrew Bailey was actually on Donald Trump's mind during the transition team. He was originally floated as a possible contender for the Attorney General spot. And so he has been a close Trump ally over the past few years. In Missouri, he sued Starbucks over its DEI policies. He's done a lot in Missouri that sort of aligns with the Trump administration policies. And so he is a more obvious choice as FBI to work for the FBI, just given his background. When you compare with Bongino, I know when Bongino was originally tapped, some people were surprised because he doesn't necessarily have the same sort of background and expertise, which is why Donald Trump had originally picked him, because of course Donald Trump doesn't always like sort of the career folks. But this does seem to be a pick that aligns with Donald Trump's policies when you look at what Andrew Bailey has been doing in Missouri over the past few years?
Ooh-wee. Now, folks got headlines on here. Don Bongino suffers major humiliation and sudden downfall. I've been in them kind of situations before where I had somebody hired next to me. Yeah, look, sometimes it just don't go over well. Folks don't always have that perfect fit. They kind of, they kind of, it's like a bump in the road. The chemistry bad, so we don't know, but I'm going to take the high road here. Now check this out.
To tell you about, the president has just tapped Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey to be the Bureau's co-deputy director, alongside former right-wing podcast host Dan Bongino, who was appointed back in February. The New York Times writes that Bailey's appointment bewildered many current and former FBI agents who said they never had heard of a co-deputy director. Joining me here, Christopher O'Leary, former FBI counterterrorism official and MSNBC national security and intelligence analyst. You were at the Bureau for many years. Did you ever hear of a co-deputy director, and what's your reaction?
So it's not a thing. I've never heard of one because it never existed. In the history of the FBI, that position has always been reserved for a senior special agent. And the reason being that individual, he or she, it's always been a he, but certainly could become a she, and those expectations it was going to be, is a senior tactical, operational, investigative advisor to the director. So compare it to a senior...
Long experience within the FBI, bottom line.
Great comparison is a sergeant major in the Marine Corps or Army or a master chief of the Navy. You're a senior enlisted advisor to the commander. With Dan Bongino, he didn't possess that background. In fairness to him, he had some operational experience, brief time in the NYPD, and then as a Secret Service agent. But that time was limited to protective security for dignitaries and not really what the FBI does. So his suitability was in question. And now bringing the Attorney General in from Missouri certainly begs the question, what qualifications does he have?
Well, he has no FBI experience.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. We talking about OJT? Is there a donut shop next door to where they working at? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, person, that's a bad joke. Look. I would think during this period in time, ever since July 13th, and every threat that has come down since then, and all the lunatics out there, and all the not just national but international threats, people, you would have to dig deep with someone who knows and has the experience. I would think that would be the best move. I know there's an argument of, bringing in somebody fresh, they can manage. But if you don't know, if you really don't know, then you don't know. I've managed over 60% of my life, maybe longer than that. And I can tell you, many times, human resources has hired people who had no experience in the particular field I was in. And the employees and the assistant managers ran circles around him or her. Put in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Just because you might have military background or whatever, unless Donald Trump won a yes man. Oh, Pearson, you found it. Oh, I think you aced it. Is that what Donald wants? Because apparently and allegedly, after he brought up about the man who had the island, the one that was incarcerated and all of a sudden he unalived himself, he spoke about that man, and maybe, just maybe, he ain't playing ball, so now he got him an assistant. So forget about the OJT. I want loyalty. I think that's what it is, Trump. Trump I want loyalty. I'm writing this down, so y'all. Look at it. Trump wants loyalty. And you know, a lot of managers, they built on that. Right? A lot of look, this might be the real thing. And then Trump in the interim, he might be still looking for somebody to replace him. You see how that works? Because certainly this man don't have a background. But if Trump would take the time, meticulously, just ask around, and then he can get the right person. Until then, he need loyalty. But if all this fall apart, let me say this to y'all. I want you to really understand what I'm saying. If all this thing fall apart, this is going to be an added excuse as to why Donald J. Trump is going to disappear. Because if the information comes out, allegedly, because Bondi already said, and you guys have heard it, Bondi has already said that Trump is in those files. I ain't talking about filing my fingers. I mean, they in bad shape. Look at that. I ain't talking about them files. My fingers in bad shape. Look at that. Cuticles in trouble. I ain't talking about them files. I'm talking about them files in relation to that island. If all that begins to come out, and he not playing ball, allegedly, then we got to get somebody else. But if the whole thing fall apart, if the whole thing fall apart, then Donald Trump, he got to go play golf for a long time. And then folks would think that something happened, but really ain't nothing happened. He just had to fly away. Right? He got to fly away so that J.D. Vance can take the position. Because we know J.D. wasn't on the island. Listen, from what I know. Woo, G doggy. All right, that's twice today. Now check this out.
Serve as the co-deputy director. Bondi telling Fox News Digital that, quote, I am thrilled to welcome Andrew Bailey as co-deputy director of the FBI. He served as a distinguished state attorney general and is a decorated war veteran, bringing expertise and dedication to service. His leadership and commitment to country will be a tremendous asset as we work together to advance President Trump's mission, saying Kash Patel telling Fox News Digital that Bailey will be an integral part of this important mission, and he looks forward to, quote, the continued fight to save America together. Bailey, as Missouri's Attorney General, launched an anti-human trafficking task force and addressed more than 1,100 reported incidents in Missouri.
Now, let me say this to you guys. I couldn't find this guy's date of birth. It possibly could have said something to me. So if you find out this guy's date of birth, put it in the description so I can follow up on this thing. But check this out. I have some numbers that are currently and from the past, which gonna blow your mind and might make you see this thing from a different perspective. Now check this out. The FBI. You remember Chris Tucker in Rush Hour 2? The FBI. With Chris Tucker. July 26, 1908. That's when the FBI was founded, right? July 26, 2026 is the anniversary of the FBI. Today is 8/19, the announcement, although the brother took position yesterday. But the difference is 1111. Woo-wee! There's that 111 again. There's that 1111 again. All right, let's not say more. Now look, Bongino's birthday, December 4th. That's his birthday coming up, end of the year. Today's announcement, 8/19, he gonna get somebody to help him out. That's 322, that's Skull and Bones. Wow. and also 108. Didn't we just celebrate the 108th birthday of JFK? And then we got 316, like John 3:16, Christ's sacrifice, hallelujah. Are they trying to tell us something? I'm telling you, people, I think they speaking. Donald Trump gonna disappear. He gotta go. Cause it's getting hot in here. I take off all my clothes. Oh boy, where do I go from? Let me just be quiet. Anyway, here's your skull and bones right here. And here's your JFK. Where we at? Where we at? 108. 108. Look at that. Are they speaking to us? They're gonna cover this thing up. It appears to me, once Donald Trump is unalive, they're gonna have a Baskin-Robbins list of possibilities as to who did what, when they're really faking all of us out. I told you Trump gonna be somewhere playing golf, but they gotta build up these other things like this. Okay, so this is adding to the drama, in my humble opinion. Now look, Bongino, he took that position March 17th of this year. Let's look at this here. March 17, 2025. Today's date, 8/19. The difference is 222. Isn't that the beast system, Pearson? You know it is. Welcome, new subscribers. That's the beast system. That's the beast system. Let's look at 222. Well, I'll be Andy. Antichrist system 222. Antichrist Barack Obama 222. Look at that. Book of Revelation 222. 222. It's speaking. Are they trying to tell us something that's coming? Sure. Then look at it here. Andrew Bailey. Smile for the camera. He's taking that position, y'all. Yeah. FBI. Okay, what we got here? Let me see here. He was the 44th Attorney General. 44 as in Barack Obama. 44th, like Barack Obama's the 44th president. Isn't that something? Interesting. Yeah. January 23rd, he had that position. So January 23rd, 2026 anniversary of him becoming AG of Missouri, subtracted from today's date, 8/19. The difference is 421. And the difference is 194. What was 421, Pearson? That's when the Pope died. How many times have I showed you that? They use other situations, other stories to tell you what happened and what's going to happen. 421 is when the Pope died, which is the 111th day of the year. That's why when I saw that 1111, hey. And what is 194? What is the 194? The 194th day of the year? Well, that's when they say Trump got hit in the ear. The 194th day of the year is July 13th. Yeah. Fight. Yeah. Fight. Yeah. Fight. What else we got? 12/4. Bongino's birthday anniversary, 2023. Here's Trump's birthday, 6/14/2024. It don't matter what year you use, as long as they're 3, then 4, or maybe 4 and 5, or 5 and 6, whatever it is. But right now, when you look at this, Trump's birthday is exactly 6 months, 1 week, and 4 days from Bongino's birthday, the one who's getting the special assistant. And what is 6/14? Did you know that 6/14 is Trump's birthday? Did you know that? Look at this. Trump's birthday. Howdy do. So what are the odds I would take his birthday, 6/14, 12/4. Let me go back. Take his birthday, the brother who getting some help today. I take his birthday, subtract it from Trump's birthday, and I get Trump's birthday. You think they playing with us? And how about this here? There's his birthday again. And there's inauguration day, 120. You mean to tell me Bongino's birthday is 47 days from inauguration? You know what? I think everybody's in on the caper. At the end of the day, let me show you what's going to happen. Let me show you. Watch this here. I think you get my point. Somebody gonna get faked out. That's USA. We grabbed the wrong rope. I'm out of here. God bless.